What's up guys, it's your girl Sabby. I'm back this week with another workout related video. So this week the topic is going to be hip dips. I've had a lot of ladies ask me how to get rid of hip dips, how to widen their hips, to create the illusion that their hips are wider, to get the hourglass figure or the slim thick look, especially ladies who have a smaller frame. So this video is for you guys and I'm here with all of your answers and hopefully all of the right techniques to fix these issues. But in return, you know, since I'm like your fairy godmother, I just ask for 3 wishes: that you like this video, that you comment on this video, and that you subscribe to my channel. But I mean, you guys are already subscribed, so let's get into it. Okay, so first things first, a little bit of background knowledge, a little bit of information so you guys don't feel like this was a total waste of time. So genetics do play a very big part in your hips. Hips are bones. They're not a muscle group. There are muscle groups around your hips, but essentially growing or widening your hips is not gonna happen. You can't train to do that. That's just your body. That's just your genetics. It's how you were made. Love the way you were made, okay? So me, myself, God didn't want to bless me with, you know, some hourglass figure. So I had to find ways around that to give me the illusion that I at least had more of a womanly frame. And I get it, a lot of girls want to feel the same way. You know, it's not, I mean, some girls do just want to be slim thick. Some girls do just want that hourglass figure, and I get it. But a lot of us just want to have like that feminine feel to our body. So there's ways around it. There's exercises obviously you can do that I'm going to show you guys in a couple of minutes. You just have to really be keen on those muscle groups and target them when you're working out. So I would definitely hands down recommend getting a resistance band if you don't already have one. I know I've mentioned that time and time again in each of my workout videos, anything related to legs, because there's literally probably not a single leg day that I go without using one. So get your hands on a resistance band because that alone applies resistance as you're doing certain exercises, and that just challenges your muscles to the extent that they kind of have no choice but to tear and then rebuild themselves, and obviously that's how your muscles grow. So that is definitely like a major key factor in growing or, you know, creating the illusion that your hips are wider than they naturally appear. And then obviously the exercises you do, how often you train. So I incorporated workouts or exercises you can do throughout the week. You can incorporate them into your weekly routine. You can do them every single day. You can do them like spread out throughout the week. So when I train legs, I do it 3 times a week. Mondays, I do quad related exercises. Wednesdays, I focus on hamstrings. And then on Fridays, I just do an overall isolated glutes workout. So I'm really challenging each muscle group, but I'm breaking them down into separate days so that they get a full focus each day in that particular group. Make sure that whenever you're doing these exercises too, your hips are engaged, and I'll demonstrate that in the video. You'll see kind of my stance when I do these exercises, because having your hips engaged, that's like just preparing yourself for the exercise, and that's allowing yourself to be in the most, wouldn't say vulnerable position to develop your muscles, but you're just engaging your body in what's to come for that exercise. So you're preparing your body. Your body knows to put in work, and it's, you know, about technique and form and this and that. So other than that, that's pretty much all that I'm gonna give you that I have to say. These exercises you can do at home. You can do them in the gym, wherever you're comfortable, but just try them out and let me know how they go for you. Let's go see. So this first exercise is typically referred to as clams. You're going to be laying flat on one side of your body with one foot on top of the other and your legs slightly bent into a V shape. And then you can see that I'm just lifting that upper leg upwards and just making sure that I try to get as much resistance in by using the band. It adds a little bit more friction. You can do this without the band as well. To kind of have the same results though, I'd probably recommend doing it a bit slower when you lift that upper leg higher, just to kind of create the same effect that the resistance band would. That way that tension is there. I typically do 3 sets of 10 for these per leg. You can obviously choose whichever rep and set ratio you'd like to do. This next exercise you guys have seen me do in my previous videos, my leg workouts or leg routines. It's one of my favorite things to start off with on leg day. These are called kickbacks or donkey kicks. And then I'm also going to be demonstrating fire hydrants in this same set. So I typically do these two paired together just because it kind of engages my hips and all of my glute muscles at once. So it's a really good warm-up exercise to do before a solid leg workout, or even if you wanted to do it for your isolated glutes day and just do higher reps and higher sets to kind of count it as an exercise. Once again, you guys can do your own rep and set numbers if you'd like. I typically do, for a warm-up, 2 sets of 20 per leg per exercise. And just an important factor with this particular exercise, either one, don't focus as much on getting your leg very high up or very high outwards. You want to kind of focus on that tension in your glutes. So make sure that however high you're going or however far out you're going, you feel that tension in your glutes, and that's really what you're working towards. So first things first, make sure that your back is flattened to the ground for this particular exercise. I know I've mentioned before that it is highly important to make sure you have a flat back as opposed to an arched. This just kind of prevents any injury or pulling of your muscles. So this exercise is referred to as glute bridges. It's where you're going to have one leg flat on the ground, bent, and then you're going to have the other one extended up in the air, and you're just going to be thrusting your hips upwards. So the key in this exercise, doing it one-legged as opposed to doing it regular where both feet are on the ground, is that it allows more tension in that specific glute that you're working on per leg going up. So I showed 2 different variations with doing this exercise. You can either extend your leg straight up or you can rest it on the other one. Just make sure that as you're coming up, you're squeezing those glutes, and that when you retract and you come down, you shoot right back up so that your muscles don't get the idea that you're coming down and that's it and you're resting. No, they want the idea that you're coming down and you're going right back up into that exercise so that they're engaged at all times and they are working their little booties off. For this exercise, we are back in that sideline position. These exercises are referred to as leg extensions or leg raises, and it's typically where you're lying on one side of your body and that top leg is the one being released up to extend and to target that glute muscle. So this one is really good for those hip dips and trying to get rid of them. You can put the resistance band either just above your knees, or you can even put them at your ankles. I typically find it a bit more challenging at my ankles. So sometimes I like to put it there, but it is a bit difficult. So if it's easier to start off doing the resistance band above your knees, I would recommend going with that. You can also obviously do them without the resistance band. Just make sure that you go a little bit slower so you create that tension. And once again, the key here isn't necessarily to go very high. Even myself, I'm going a bit high, but you really want to focus on just building that friction. Now here I am doing that same exact exercise, and I'm showing you it with the resistance band and actually standing up rather than laying down. I have the resistance band just above my knees. Notice too that my hips are fully engaged with this exercise, and rather than my body being straight up, my hips are pushed back so that I prevent any injury. You can use the resistance band once again above your knees. You can use them at your ankles, or you can do the exercise without them. Just make sure that you go a little bit slower without using the resistance band so that you can create some tension for your muscles and put them to work. Moving on to the last exercise for this video, I'm demonstrating hip abductors. This machine is obviously at the gym. There is a way to do it at home. However, I'm not including it in this video this time. If you're interested, just comment down below and I will show you the at-home version. I am actually doing this exercise backwards as well, just as an alternative way to do it. This way I kind of engage my muscles and I'm able to get more of a deeper stretch. Just make sure that your feet are positioned properly, that your toes are pointed outward so your knees are not going in and you don't cause any injuries. And then of course adjust the weight to your comfortability. This is the proper way to do them, or the original way to do them, where you're just sitting on the bench and you are extending your legs outward. So this is a really great exercise. I typically do it both ways when I go to the gym and use this machine. That way I can kind of get the most of it and just really get a full engaged workout. And I typically do 3 to 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps per version, or per alternative way of the exercise. All right, so I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Once again, I know that this was like a big subject that a lot of girls were asking about, so I really hope that you guys can implement these exercises into your routine and that they make a difference for you. If anybody knows other, hip dip exercises that target the gluteus medius area for this particular desire to have, wider hips, let me know in the comments below. I'd love to know new exercises. I'd love to share that with everybody else. There's definitely a lot more exercises out there that you can do to target that particular area. I just kind of went off of like my top few that I do most often in my routines and that I have actually seen results from. So like I mentioned before, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that crazy stuff. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram, because I do often post, other helpful tips, Sabrina, other helpful tips with related to fitness, and I actually post a lot of what I eat. So if that's something you guys are interested in, let me know in the comments below if you'd like a video like that. But other than that, I delivered, so your turn. I will see you guys next week in the next video. Until then, stay hustling and stay humble.